Hey everybody, and thanks for watching Woodcrest Bonsai. Today I'm going to finish the last two narrow leaf ficus that I put into bonsai pots a little too soon. Premature bonsai potting. So what I've been doing with the other ones is just treating them as if they're still in a training pot, even though they're in a bonsai pot. And I develop my bonsai when they're young by letting them grow way out and then cutting off a lot of that excess growth, and then letting that growth, new growth, grow out, and then cutting that way back. And then over time, after 2 or 3 times of doing that, maybe more, you start to get some movement and some taper and some branching, and you can begin to develop a tree. So, hold on, I have a couple more in training that look just like this. Can we get them both together? Here's a tree in a training pot, and this is a food container, and I use a lot of plastic food containers because they just work for me. But as you can see, it's pretty close to our buddy here in the bonsai pot. So trunk thickness is very similar, height is very similar. So if I were going to be working this tree here, I would, and of course this is a square container so we can choose whatever front we want, I would probably take it back to about here. I can use that as a cutting, and then cut this guy back to about there. And then if we get this guy completely out of the way, we now have a tree that has the front right there, and instant taper and instant motion. And then I'm going to regrow all the rest of it. And so this guy's no different, even though it's in a bonsai pot. I'm basically going to do the very same thing. So I'm going to start by removing this guy here. And actually I'm going to come a little closer. And then down a little, because we're going to chop the whole top off. And we're going to take it right to here. And then I'm going to take this, get it out of the way at least, and then take this to here. And this back branch is almost exactly in the same place as the first main branch. So if I leave both of those, I could get a big knob right here. So right now I'm going to reduce that back branch tremendously, and also reduce the first main branch tremendously too. Welcome to my arm in the picture. So there you go. So now if we take the one in the training pot and we compare it to the one I just did, pretty much the same thing. Ficus narrofolia, the narrow leaf ficus, is probably the best tree to do some premature bonsai potting, because they will continue to thicken in the pot. In the other ones I had some problems with roots. This one has pretty decent nabari. It's got some, this is a massive root here, but it's moving out into the rest of the soil. This one here is a surface root, and there's another one in the back. So I think I'm going to take those off, which would be a fairly simple process. Nothing like trying to whack the huge ones off in the other trees that I had. Although I do have one more that came soil and all. And then the one in the back, chop that off there. Oh, well, that was simple. And then as with the other ones, going to give it a good fertilization and then fill in the soil here where it just got removed with the roots that I took off. So there's number one. And as you can see, Ficus, which is why I wear gloves most of the time, bleed with a very milky sap. And that's actually just running down the trunk. But it'll heal up. If you really want it to heal fast, just douse it with some water, and the water will sort of help the wound to close up and not bleed so much. Now I have one more, and that's in the biggest pot, and it's the biggest tree. But we're still going to do basically the same thing. Take it down, create movement, taper, and then go from there. So I'm going to bring that tree in right now. Here is the last tree, and as you can see, it's way overgrown. It's in a bigger pot, and it just keeps going up and up and up and up. But once again, all that's coming off. I'm going to take 90% of what you see off. It has an interesting root system. This root here, that circles, need to come off. And I've already showed you, you basically just have to like gouge it out of there basically, because it's a ficus and they really have no hard wood. And then if we turn it around, this is an interesting front right here. And the Nabari is pretty cool. We've got some like right here where it cuts back. But it's actually pretty cool. And another part that I don't like about this tree is, for some reason, all the soil washed out right here. And so there are no roots here at all. Check out how it's starting to get lichens. So I am actually going to take an awl and poke holes into the trunk right here, and then fill that with soil. Put root hormone on the holes and try to get some roots to move in this way. But I've decided that this is going to be the front. So if we come in closer and come down to where I'm going to cut, and honestly I'm not, oops, make sure you tighten the screws on the tripod. Not really quite sure what I'm going to do with this guy. I know that this smaller stuff needs to all come off. So there we go. This here would make an interesting tree. Once again, I could do almost the same thing. I could come up to here, chop all of this off, come up to here, chop all of this off, and have a little baby leader right there. But I don't know about that angle. I would really like the angle to be a little less drastic. Now that could work if I tilted the tree like this. Of course, now I'm tilting the whole pot. So if I tilt the tree, then all of these roots that are here that are already exposed are going to be even more exposed. In a perfect world, you'd really tilt this tree the other way, so that these roots here that are a little smaller, a little less developed, would develop. But do I do it anyway? You really, once again, in bonsai, you really can't make a mistake. You just increase the amount of time it's going to take before the tree is a finished tree. So this branch here is just way too thick to be the first main branch. So I'm definitely going to cut this here like that. Even if this doesn't become the future leader. Take that guy off. So what else could I do with this tree and not make it like that? Oh, you know, I'm just going to do it. I have my concave cutters. I'm not sure that it's even going to cut all the way through this thing. May have to do it twice. Clean that scar up the best I can. There we go. Well, it's done. But I think it'll be fine. Just coax this guy over like this, and I can still create a tree up in here. And of course I now have gigantic cuttings I can try to root. And there's a couple little roots like this guy right here that is going out, circling. Really ought to be here. Maybe I can try to cut it like this and then yank it over. Something like that. Oh yeah, much better. And then I'll deal with the huge circling root off camera. You can watch me grind away at huge circling roots in some of the other videos. Premature bonsai potting. So that's it for today. And this is the last of them. So please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you'll be able to see what happens with these guys. Next time I post a video of how well they've grown, or how much they've grown, or how much they've not grown, you'll be able to see. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Help the algorithm send my videos to more and more people. I just the other day reached 200 subscribers, and now I think I'm at about 220. So thank you so much to everyone that has subscribed. Hopefully I'm giving you some information that you can use. A big part of my doing this is not necessarily instructional. It's more like examples of how I do things. And then if you can take some of the information that I'm showing you and apply it to your trees, then that's fantastic. So that's really why I'm here, trying to show you how I do things, and hopefully you can get something out of the techniques I use and possibly begin to use them to grow your own bonsai. And bonsai is a very personal hobby. We all have our own vision of what trees should look like. So if you disagree with the way I'm doing this, that's okay too, because you may have just a different vision of how you want your trees to look. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have a unique eye on anything, not just bonsai. So that's it for this video. I know they all just look like sticks, but it's the middle of summer and they're going to grow like crazy. So I will give you an update, maybe 2-3 months, and you'll see that they've grown tremendously. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.